Greetings, YouTube, and welcome to a video that we will be basically breaking down the same way that I used to break down in the 1990s my love of Pokemon cards. I know that might sound really random, but any of you from the 90s, and maybe they still do it today, I don't know, it's been decades, literally decades since I've played it, but I used to play that Pokemon game, the card game when it came out. It was all the craze in the late 90s, and the funny thing is I actually didn't play it, I just collected the cards for the holographics, and that probably makes me sound like a huge noob, but what else is new? But I say that to say, if you were starting out in Pokemon and you didn't want to buy like a pack of cards, you would simply have your friend buy the booster pack, which contained mostly commons, mostly like the Pokemon version of Old Balls Logan and Satan herself, Kamala Khan. But then there'd be like one awesome card at the very top, like a holographic Charizard, that people would have a guaranteed great start to their collection. So I say that to say that today I am reviewing whether or not it's trash or cash, the Infinity War booster pack, which is kind of like the MCOC version of a booster pack like the one I described to you in Pokemon. And what's really fascinating about it is most people, I would say, before this month's event, if you are not brand new to the game, would absolutely skip this. And certainly if you've been playing for more than a couple of months, you're going to skip it anyways. But there are several people who have contacted me that maybe have been playing for a couple of months and still don't have a War Machine. And because Kabam, the only major mistake I think that Kabam made with this month's Gwenpool at the Movies event is that they didn't give the Versus crystals, the 2 stars that you can get random champions, at the start of August. They're waiting until August 8th, which means this week people are screwed if they don't have a champion to complete it, no matter what the skill level of their other champions are, because you can't unlock that path unless you have the specific OG Avengers. And the one that I've been told from multiple people that no one has is War Machine, of all people. Well, it just so happens that if you are desperate for a 2-star War Machine, this booster pack may be something you need to consider, because if you don't 100% every week, you don't get those juicy, amazing rewards, especially in the epic level. I also want to point out that this has some good value for beginners, because if you spend $5 normally on units, it gets you 135 units, which quite simply put is not enough for even 2 premium disappointment crystals. Whereas this by itself gives you the equivalent of 5 in the Infinity War universe. But what I enjoy about these crystals is that you get twice the RNG, twice the drop rate percentage of 4% to get a 4-star, comparable to the normal drop rate of 2% for the premium disappointment crystals. And as you can see at the very bottom of this list, you get the chance at a War Machine, which normally you would probably get pretty ticked off if you got War Machine. But now all of a sudden, that War Machine could be, for those of you who don't have him, the ticket to amazing rewards at the end of the month. So this is a very interesting thing to review. I think for people who are just starting out, this is a very, very solid cash deal. Solid meaning B+, even A-, because for $5, you get essentially 500 units worth of PHCs, but they have a double drop rate for that 4-star especially, so it's even better than that, and the double drop rate for the 3-star. And then you get 3 level 1 health potions. That's nothing to even consider valuing in. 5 small energy refills, not bad. And then experience points boost, which again, if you're certainly at level 60, but anyways, you're not going to care about those. You get those so easily in-game from a variety of things, especially those daily crystals, those large green ones, and even the smaller green ones. So if you are somebody who's just starting out, this Pokemon-like Charizard booster pack for your MCOC is going to come in handy big time. Especially, like, every once in a while, someone will buy this, and then they'll comment on the link and say, Prof, I've had an account for 16 hours, and my first 4-star was Stark Enhanced Spider-Man. And I'm like, holy cow, do you realize you just, like, Candyland straight up skipped ahead like 2 different paths in the game because of the strength of that champion. My first 4-star was a guy I used to call Black Balls, because Black Bolt before his buff actually recoil damaged on his special 2, which was a really cool Street Fighter like special 2 until the recoil damage took over. The Cyclone Crusher was not something to be embraced at that point, but now at least he doesn't have recoil damage. Anyhow, if you need War Machine, this is something you need to strongly consider picking up. If you are new to the game, this is a very solid deal for $5. And if you get one of those 4 stars that I talked about, if you get any 4-star, let's be honest, from this, it's a level deal. Now, for most other people, including myself, this is a deal that has no grade needed because you don't need it. This is not targeted for you. You can skip right over it. But something that I'm really trying to do when I do these trash or cash offer reviews is trying to consider all levels of players, especially the first week, the first month players, which there are a lot of in the game lately, because it's easy to forget. Especially if you're like me and you've got close to 800,000 rating and you've got multiple 565 champs, just how hard it was at the beginning to get something besides a 2-star, even how great 3 stars were at the beginning, and then certainly a 4-star was a game changer. Even that Black Bolt, or my second 4-star, a Hulk Buster, was my best champion for a long time, even in stuff like Alliance Quest. So I'm trying to keep that in mind, and so if you're watching this and you're new to the game, first off, thanks for tuning into the channel. And secondly, I strongly recommend and encourage you to buy this because worst case scenario, 5 2-stars is a great way to start out. You'll definitely be forgetting all those 1-stars that you get when you start. And then on top of that, you have a boatload of good champs that you can get. Stark Enhanced Spider-Man certainly is the best champion in this pool. But you've also got great champs like, imagine you've got a 4-star Black Widow. Captain America is very solid. Captain America Infinity War, even better. Doc Strange used to be God tier, but he's still okay. Then you've got some underrated champs like Drax and Gamora. I still don't really like Falcon or Groot, certainly. Hawkeye is arguably the most underrated champion in the game besides Loki. Hulk, Iron Man, Specially Awakened, Iron Man Infinity War would be amazing. And you all, I need to remember this. I'm glad that I just thought. Iron Man Infinity War is another champ that you need to complete. I think it's next week's Gwenpool at the Movies chapters. And so if you are like most people and don't have a single Iron Man Infinity War, even a 2-star, you might consider throwing $5 at this as well, because that 2-star automatically gets you into that path regardless of what level it is. So I really think this is designed pretty smartly by Kabam to delay their arena crystals a week so that you have no choice but to go for this if you need that War Machine. And if you need another champ like a Cap Infinity War or an Iron Man Infinity War, now is your chance. The only champ I don't have, and I don't see it in this, is a Wasp. But I believe Wasp would be down. It looks like this is in alphabetical order, so Wasp would be in between Vision and Winter Soldier if it was available, if she was available in the crystal, and sadly she is not. So I got stung by the Wasp again, even though I don't have her. Lucky me. All right, well, again, for newer players, solid B+ value. If you really, really need a War Machine to 100% this week, I would strongly encourage you to consider throwing your $5 this way either. And for everybody else, just look at it and understand and appreciate the fact that this has very good value to beginners. It's not for us. Just kind of X out the box and wait for something that is targeted at the more experienced veteran players, if you will. Thanks for tuning in, YouTube. Have a wonderful, wonderful Friday, a great weekend, and as always, I appreciate you liking and supporting my MCOC channel.